Christine Lombardo. I'm an attorney-mediator with the Alpha Center for Divorce and Mediation, and I just wanted to share some information about first marriage mistakes that will make second marriages better. So I have some pearls of wisdom that I hope you might find helpful. If I only knew then what I know now, gosh, we would all be better off. If life were so simple, right? We know it's not. Most of us have survived a divorce or more and are carrying a lot of regret with us into our new chapters. And it's really not healthy to do that. We all should and deserve to start a new chapter being free and happy because life is short. So the first big lesson is to be true to yourself. We tend to tell ourselves stories, we tend to lie to ourselves. And for me, in my first relationship, I rationalized a lot of bad behavior. I rationalized actions, things that were being said and done. And I tried to fit a square peg in a round hole over and over and over again. And there's a definition called insanity. And that was what was happening. For me, though, what happened is I let that progress and develop and grow and stew and brew until a point where the resentment was so great on both sides that we couldn't find our way back. The second big lesson is you're not only marrying your new spouse, but you're marrying their family. And we don't pick our relatives. And so you have a lot of personalities, you have a lot of different backgrounds, a lot of experiences, and you got to kind of be mindful of that. The other thing is that this is a second marriage, so most of us have kids that we're bringing along into this relationship. I think sometimes the older children suffer more than the younger children. Younger kids are, they're malleable, they're young, they're learning, they're growing, and as long as there's no major abuse, they can kind of forget and adapt and move on. But adult children, really be mindful and don't force relationships onto people because that really never works. You might want to consider a prenup or a prenuptial agreement. And a lot of people don't like to talk about it because it has a bad, connotation. I look at a prenup as a way to prevent future conflict. Lay all the cards out on the table and say, look, I have this house from this marriage, or I have this asset, I want it to go to my kids. That's what you put in the agreement. So it doesn't have to be a negative. It doesn't have to be, like the ones you see on TV. It doesn't have to be that dramatic, right? It's a legal instrument that protects both of you and your assets, and hopefully you're protecting your children. The last lesson, is something I wish I would have done long ago. But it's to show gratitude and value to your spouse. We get into the throes of the activities of daily living every day, right? You get up, brush your teeth, shower, go to work, come home, make dinner. You're, maybe doing homework or going to sporting activities, and your weekends are consumed with some kind of extracurricular activity. And at the end of the day, there is very little time for each other. You need to make that time number one, but you also need to show gratitude and value to your spouse. Even if it is something as simple as them letting you sleep in an extra 15 minutes, or them making you a latte, or, picking up the mail at the end of the day, or taking out the garbage, those little things, just a thank you or a hug, I really appreciate you, will go a very long way. In my first marriage, we both succumbed to that resentment and really did not show enough gratitude or value, even though we did. We didn't say it, and you got to say it. You got to look that person in the eye and say it. It doesn't cost anything, but it can save a lot. Being able to go through this short life with someone that you love and who loves you back unconditionally is a gift. And so I acknowledge that with my gratitude every day, and I make sure, literally every day not to take that for granted.